In today's video, we're talking about the pound GBPUSD as it pressures an area that could become significant as we head into September. The market right now is signaling a potentially explosive breakout as we head into a new month. So I'll have all the details in today's video, including an update on my trade. Now, if you guys do want access to my trades in real time, be sure to join us in Discord. See the link in the description of this video for 85% off lifetime access. You're going to get access to my trades live, which I've put on 2 trades so far this week. Both are nicely in profit. One of them actually is on the pound. And you're also going to get access to VIP-only videos. You're going to get daily setups and also the complete course. So check out that link, guys. Join us in VIP. And as I've said recently, too, the price will be going up soon. I can't say exactly when, but the price will be increasing shortly. So be sure to get in there while you can. All right, so looking at the pound here, GBPUSD daily time frame. We've discussed this here in the past few videos. However, I do have a new level on this chart now, and that is this trend line off of this high up here, which you can see the market right now is pressuring this area. So this is a confluence of resistance here for the pound at 135.20/30. So that means that this entire area back here, horizontal resistance here, also this trend line off of that high from back there in July. Now, looking at the pound on the 4-hour time frame. So this is what we talked about yesterday, and I want you guys to note this trend line down here as well off of the low back here from August. So this trend line right here is the one I talked about in the Wednesday outlook. And this trend line is also why I was longing the pound on Wednesday. So down here at 134.55, so right down here, I was longing this market. I'm still long this market. And this was an entry that I shared in the VIP Discord in real time. So right down here, I was getting long, share this in real time along with my stop loss and take profit. Now, you can see that this trend line right down here is one reason why I was looking to long this market. And also the fact that we did have the market coming into this area, this horizontal region right here around 134.50 that we've talked about in recent videos. So this right here was a confluence of support for the pound. This up here is a confluence of resistance for the pound. So as of right now, the market is still very range bound. We can't sit here and say which direction is likely in September simply because we do have it ranging here between these two areas. Now, with that said, though, okay, you can see where the pound right now is pressuring this area, not really backing off so far. So we'll see if buyers can get the job done. It is going to take at least a couple of 4-hour time frame closes above this, preferably a daily close above here, and just see the market hold above this region over the coming days. Now, obviously, if it closes a week above, then it would flip to new support next week, and so on. So right now, for the pound, this area back here is going to be your key resistance, right around 135.30 to be conservative. Above that, we have those highs around 135.80. Now, in September, okay, and actually a couple things here. First, I want to, before we move on, guys, this blue level down here, this single print that you see off of this low. So I shared this in the Discord group last night. Actually, before I went to bed, believe it or not, I was sharing this in the group. And this level down here, when the market was trading up here, I shared this level and mentioned this to VIP members as a potential support for the pound over the next day or two. And you can see that hours later, we actually got the market coming right here into this level, bounced exactly from that. In fact, 2 pips below it, and then bounced back here toward resistance. So this is the power of TPO, time price opportunity, and these single prints that I share, which we talk about this a lot in the VIP group. I even have a video, a 27-minute video that I made on TPO, which covers the entire indicator, from front to back. So anyway, looking at the pound here, let's talk about these single prints from July, because these could become a factor in September. So notice how back here in early July, we saw a very sharp sell-off from the pound. Now, following that sell-off, we got a partial retrace into this area. However, there are 3 single prints up here, okay, very similar to that one down here, 134.85 that was tagged overnight. Now, these up here, okay, could become factors for the pound. However, here's how you have to think about this whenever you're looking at imbalances, whether it be single prints or fair value gaps, whatever it might be. Here's how you have to look at this. These up here right now are not viable targets. And they're not viable targets because right now they are protected by this level down here, okay, 135.30. Now, they're also protected by 135.80. So because of these 2 areas down here, we can't technically say that these areas are open for business, so to speak, right? We can't say that it's likely for the pound to come up here and tag these areas in September. Now, if we see the pound, though, start to climb above areas like this here today, okay, and get above here and base above this, and also get above 135.80, then these become targets. Now with my long trade, okay, my long trade from down here that I announced in VIP in real time, my target for this is up here. Okay, it is these areas up here. However, at the same time, if we see 134.80, I will take some off. Now, if we see 134.80 and the market rotates lower down here in this area and we get bullish price action from here, I will reload that trade for the move up there toward 137. Okay, so you kind of see how this works, right? It's like getting in a core position, and then from that core position, you're essentially trading around that core. Okay, so you're scaling out a little bit, you're adding a little bit depending on what the market is showing you, but that is the general idea here for this trade. But again, I do want to be clear that we can't say which direction is likely in September simply because we don't have a breakout just yet. So even though today's blog post is titled Breakout, right? A lot of traders make the mistake of thinking that breakout implies bullish, and you can also have a bearish breakout as well. So from a pattern like this, it does come down to the fact that you need to see the market either closing above here or below here to get that breakout. But again, I do think that these single prints up here from July, okay, following that sell-off, could become factors for the pound. And like I mentioned in Wednesday's outlook too, if you consider the fact that if we go to the daily time frame, and you just consider the fact that the pound has been trending higher all year. Okay, so notice from the 2025 open back here, it has been a series of higher highs and higher lows. Now, recently, we have gotten this pullback, right? So you can see where the market has kind of pulled back here, consolidating and moving sideways now. However, at the same time, all year long, we have seen an uptrend for the pound. So if you are on the buy side here, then you're in agreement, okay, with the trend that's been in place all year long. Okay, so that's also important to consider, that if you're looking for a short based on, a break below here, then yeah, that could work out. But at the same time, that even though the recent trend here has been lower, the trend since the start of the year has been higher. Okay, it has been a bullish trend. So that's it, guys. I mean, right now I'm watching to see if the pound can get above this area here, right around 135.20/30. If we do that, then I might look to add to my position. However, you also have to be aware that this area back here at 135.80 is also going to be a critical resistance for the pound. Now, support for this market, okay, this idea is intact as long as the market is above this area down here around 134.50, okay? Now, looking at the DXY, this chart also agrees with what we're seeing there from the pound. So you can see where right now the pound is pressuring this resistance area, and the DXY is very, very close to this area down here at 97.80. So we have this trend line from the closing price back here. You've got this low, you've got this low right through here. That was that Friday bounce, or I'm sorry, that Monday bounce, rather, that Friday sell-off. And you can see where this 97.70/80 area is going to be critical for the DXY. So really clean here from the US dollar index, to where if the market were to get below here on a daily closing basis, then this would open up poor lows right down here. So these are unfinished auctions. Unfinished auction here, unfinished auctions down here. And again, this is all TPO. This is all part of the indicator, guys. I discuss all of this in Discord and explain why these areas are significant. So areas like this, guys, tend to be revisited by a market, but just like I mentioned with the pound, the way you have to look at this is that these are not viable targets right now because they are protected by 97.70/80. If the market gets below here, then these become viable targets, okay? So that's how I'm looking at this market. It's how I always look at a market when I'm talking about, key levels, price action, and these TPO levels. Okay, so as of right now, we also have to respect the chart though and know that the DXY is technically still above support, okay? It's technically still above support. We also have this long upper wick from Wednesday that could potentially become a factor if we do get a bounce from this area. So keep that in mind as well. But again, if the DXY were to get below 97.70, then that would open up these lower levels. And as for the pound, again, this area right around 135.20 or 30, really, to be conservative, is going to be required to open up that 135.80 area. But for now, guys, the market is range bound. Okay, the last thing you want to do is go buying at resistance like this, because we could still get that pullback down here into support before we get the bounce. All right, so not financial advice, just my opinion, but again, the best way to play this right now is to wait for the breakout, okay, and get that rounded retest, or, again, you wait for that pullback within this range and buy it low. Never make the mistake of trying to buy high into resistance. That is always a bad idea. All right, guys, I hope the video helped. If it did, subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and also join us in VIP. Check out the link in the description of this video for 85% off. I will see you on the inside. Trade well, and I will talk to you again tomorrow in the weekly forecast.